can't talk without a microphone. Drives my family mad. Hey, thank you for inviting me today, everybody, and thanks for everyone. And I'd just like to say before I get on to my bit, the Man Shed is amazing, and I look at what you guys are doing, and my dad who committed suicide due to mental health and prostate cancer, it all went into one because he lost he'd still be alive today. So a big hand for the Man Shed guys and what we're doing. And I just looked at it and realised, if there was something around, Dad committed suicide in 2000, but if there was something like that around, so you're doing a great job, guys. Yeah, look, it is a bit weird when I come and do these sorts of lunches because I'm probably known for being the guy that gets on the beer and has a laugh, but probably talked about it on the show 18 months ago, a secret I've been keeping most of my life, but I was diagnosed with severe anxiety and mild depression, which is ironic because I sit around worrying when I'm going to get depressed next. It's very bizarre. I'm on medication at the moment, but I've lost my crack pipe, so bear with me. That was a joke, guys. It's heroin. But I am on medication. Only did that 18 months ago, and that's what made me decide to talk about anxiety, because I started then, after I did it once on air, just people texting me, emailing me, going, and guys and girls, and we are here for men's health, but, of course women suffer from mental health to some degree. We only have to do postnatal depression. That's just to name 1,000 that they go through, but we are probably talking and concentrating more on guys because we're all in our DNA not to complain too much or, hey mate, come on, bit of anxiety, what's wrong with you, you worry. True story, when I was diagnosed with it, I said to Tanya, my on-air partner, because she's my best mate, and I said, oh God, I've just been diagnosed with anxiety, and she went, that's okay, and these are my exact words were, oh, it's the wussy one, where you worry too much. Now, I was raised as a fisherman, my dad was a big burly, tough fisherman, and I was raised, she'll be right, you'll be okay, and you're just worrying a little bit. Well, it's far more than that. Mine is a chemical imbalance in my brain for the anxiety part of it, and probably the depression part of it comes from my anxiety. Lucky me. Now, I'm sure there's guys here right now that at some stage due to, and look, COVID's been a rubbish year, as we can all imagine for all sorts of reasons, but it doesn't discriminate. It could be the richest man in the world can have anxiety, the richest person in the world can be depressed. It doesn't discriminate. It can be due to reasons in your life, situations, or it could be just a mental imbalance, a chemical imbalance that can be, to a degree, kind of fixed with chemicals and drugs. Now, I know there's a lot of people going, oh no, I'm not going to do drugs and I'll do whatever I can to not do that. Well, let me tell you, I've been on them for 2 years now. What I would have given to have known this or spoken up earlier and had it 15 years ago, my life would be very, very different, because it just evened me out. For those, and again, don't have to, because I know show of hands who might just suffer from a little bit of anxiety at all due to, yep, there we go. That's what it's about, right? And you guys know the levels it can be, and sometimes guys, and I keep saying guys, you might even know you're suffering because in your world it might be, I'm a bit stressed about that, a bit worried about that, where you're actually tingeing in anxiety, because if you're not sleeping that well at night, you'll be surprised if something in your life is keeping you awake and you're tossing and turning, you'll just go, had a rough night, a bit worried about something. It may well be anxiety. I'm not saying it is, but why don't you, if you're having a really bad week, just talk to someone about it, someone you might know that knows something about it, or just go and see your GP. And they'll say, no, you're right, you're just worrying a little bit. It's worth it. Nip it in the bud, because you're a better person for it, and so's the people around you, and it also so's your business, because of your staff. And so it's worth just putting your hand up, as I did. An irony for you is 25 years of radio. I've dined with Prime Ministers. I've met Tom Jones, my mum's hero, mine slightly too, but I've met a lot of rock stars. I've done a lot of wonderful things thanks to my job. So explain to me, while driving out here, I nearly pulled over and threw up because I was nervous about doing this lunch. That's anxiety. That's how bad it gets for me, and I'm on meds. And then you get the masking, as we were just saying, as Shane said I was talking, it's like my mask is my job. I get up every day and I'm supposed to be Jolly Steve and nothing worries Steve. So my job forces the mask, but then I carry that mask into my real life. And that's why it took so long to actually just get diagnosed with it. So I do have nights, even right, you know, I think it was Monday, where I'll just sit in the car park before I go on the show and just take big breaths before I get in there. And then that microphone comes on and the light comes on, hey, we're away. Because when the mic's in my hand, I feel comfortable. It's almost like a security blanket. I feel all right. But driving out here today, I can't, my brain, and it's stupid. Well, it sounds stupid, but there's no rhyme or reason to it. No rhyme or reason whatsoever. It'd be, what do they want me to talk about? Oh, I don't want to go on about my problems. Should I be funny? They're probably expecting funny. I'll be funny. And I just stew, because I'm wondering what you guys want out of me. And therefore that develops, and then I start stewing in the stomach and I feel sick, and it's just what it is. And I'm on medication. You should have seen me 2 years ago. It wasn't pretty, rocking backwards and forwards. But what I'm saying is it's normal too. I'm trying to normalise it. It's not weak. It's not, you know, anything like that. It's just what it is. I have it, and I think it's a growing thing that I'm hoping, and again I'm saying guys, girls, excuse, but I'm talking on a man point of view, that the guys will put their hands up. But even for girls too, and I say girls, ladies, you've got to talk the right questions and ask the right questions. Because the worst thing of someone with depression, as I said, I lost my dad, I didn't see it coming. From suicide, I've lost 2 mates from suicide, and how many times do you hear, oh, I honestly, I knew he was a bit down, but I didn't see that coming. You hear it all the time. Well, you can't see it coming, guys. You're not in their heads. It's not our fault. We can't have that suicide guilt. What we can do, though, is try and get in their face a little bit more. Just get in their face, because I know the are you okay thing, and that's lovely that we're doing that. I also know there's a campaign for people like me or sufferers to talk about it more, and that also is great. But somehow we really do not want to bother you with our problems. That's the bottom line. Or you don't want someone to judge you because you're feeling a bit down, because you feel, well, they've got their own problems. What do they need mine for? I think that's a big thing that goes on from a sufferer. So as their mate, family member, brother, sister, father, son, just get in their face a bit is my advice. If you think they're a little bit down or they're a little bit flat, if you've got a mate who doesn't answer a text, rock up with a six-pack, knock his door down. But believe me, he will appreciate it. Even if he won't at the first acknowledge you, he will, that you've done that, will lift him in some way. They're only little gestures, but that's the bottom line, is the masking of it when the, hey, how you going? Wasn't Australian say, yeah, good mate. That's what we do. And you have been up and I sleep on average probably, and this is with medication, about 4 hours a night. I mean, look at me, I'm fucking 19. It's hell. But yeah, I don't sleep well, and therefore I'm too tired sometimes to respond to people. I'm just exhausted. Do my job. I'm a single dad now, so pick up my son, walk my dog, that's done, dinner, bed, work, and almost like I haven't got time. But if someone knocked on my door and walked in with a drink, I'd have one with them. You know, it's almost like, oh, I need someone coming at me, rather than me putting my hand up going, help. Because I think, well, everyone else is busy, everyone else has got their own worries. The other thing too is the masking. The stats are insane on how much we drink, guys and girls. Especially, I mean, come on, put it down. But they're incredible. Used to be, have a couple of beers when I got home from work. The last stat I read, and this is from COVID, is 2 bottles of wine a night between couples, or it's a 6-pack for the guy and a bottle of wine for the girl. That's not abnormal, that's normal, guys. That's the stat at the moment. Now, I don't know about you guys, but if I have a bottle of wine, I'm pretty uncomfortable. It's a bit awkward. So if you have that on a daily, you get what we call piss fit. And when you piss fit, you actually then become a functioning alcoholic. True story. Piss fit means you drink so regularly that you can still function at work the next day, and you stop realising that you're drinking that much because it becomes a function of what you do. So you don't think you're an alcoholic, and you're not terminally an alcoholic, but it is a functioning one. So and I'm only telling you this not to judge, I'm telling you this to just have a little spot on yourself and go, all right, I'm going to go 2 days and not have any, and And then, of course, you pull a blinder on Friday and they go hard. I'm joking. But it's a big, big problem we have in our country. Really big problem we have in our country at the moment. And I'm probably the leading cause of that stat. 2 years ago, my wife said it's either her or the alcohol, and I still miss her. But it's called masking it. You hide, you drop it off, oh, this will knock the edge off. Just give me a couple of beers. How many times have we felt like that? Oh, give me a glass of wine. We just knock that edge off. There's nothing wrong with that. Or the crack pipe, as I was offered over at this table. Thank you, girls. There's nothing wrong with it, but just keep an eye on it. Or if you're watching a mate or a partner and you're thinking, yeah, all right, just keep an eye on it. And going back to the prostate, as Hagues was talking about, my dad had prostate cancer, which just leads to what I was saying earlier. Prostate, not checked, didn't talk about it, typical thing. He was a burly, strong fisherman. It then affected him. By the time he diagnosed, he was riddled. Then depression set in. They were giving him everything to survive, but with cancer, Hagues, as you know, and it's not pretty. And so he was functioning, he was existing. He wasn't living, he was existing, and he knew that. But I didn't see it coming, and without going into the details, but he ended up ending his own life. And from that, I've always made it a mission that if I could have made one phone call half an hour earlier, that mightn't have happened. I'm not blaming myself, but it's all about get into your mate's face. And I know the world is telling you that, if you suffer, please put your hand up. Well, yes, I agree with that. Get into your mate's face. That's what I can only offer. And just remember that they really, really care, even if sometimes it doesn't seem like they do. Because the darkness, there is a light, and it's up to you guys. Just put your hand up, get a mate in your face to help you out. And there is, get meds, talk about it. Man shed, the list is endless of help out there. All you got to do is just go, yeah, all right. I'm like all my other mates, and don't be brave. There's nothing tough about suffering crap. Nothing tough at all. It just makes you an idiot. You're better off by asking for help and getting fixed up. So you're good for yourself, but you're good for everyone else. That's the most important thing. And last but not least, I'd just like to suggest to everyone that when you are waking up the next morning from a bit of a bender, it's called hangxiety, everybody. When you go, oh shit, what did I do? All right? And I'm going to the doctor this afternoon so I can be legally diagnosed with hangxiety and add to my other woes. And just going on what you said, Hagues, I currently have a mate who's going through divorce. He's staying with me at the moment. He's 53 and he's living with me at the moment. And okay, guys, if you're going to have a wee and it sounds like this, go to the friggin' doctor. All right? It's called prostate cancer. You got a football up your ass. Am I right, Hagues? Go to the doctor. That's it. I just want to leave it, guys. Men's health is so important because our girls and kids and children need us around, and they need us at our best. And we can only be at our best if we put our hands up to help. Thanks very much. You've been wonderful. Thank you very much.